Oop. Oh, wait, hold on. There you are. All right. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This is the last time I'm going to be able to play before I take a little breaky break. So I wanted to play it one last time just because I had such a good time. And I want to enjoy it before I go see Joseph. And I'm not going to be able to mod the stream during these. So let's do it. We're on episode... We finished the tutorial case. We're on episode 2.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously Kane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air.
Instead of Watson.
I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view.
Into view. These actors are so good.
Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band.
The speckled
I
band.
believe this is the terrible coil to which she referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike.
To strike.
It truly was
What's
the
going
most
on?
terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
On board the steamship. Baruya? Oh.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
Oh, God.
Pray, do excuse me.
Pray, do
The
excuse me.
cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
What a nerd.
Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle.
This upset bottle. Umineko reference.
Russian word. So, the
Oh
victim's
no, he's hot.
and the letters are well formed, suggesting
Susato.
at the time.
Susato mentioned.
This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Oh God, he's gonna shoot. What the
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture.
Why do they got the, like...
What have we here?
Let's go.
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
Da! No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
That won't be
What are these
necessary.
voices?
You see,
Da!
less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper.
Paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Herlock Sholmes. Amazing name. You gotta be kidding me, dog. I love Ace Attorney so friggin' much. Ugh, my head. I swear to God, if it's Ryunosuke, I'm gonna... What's going on? Something's not right here. What's up, Rius? Rius in chat. 10 gifted follows. 10 gifted has followed. Can we get an LBK Euler in chat for Rius? What's up, Rius? Hope you're having a good time. Thank you for the huge amount of gifties. Holy shit. Please be Ryunosuke again. I got home early to play me FF16. Heck yeah. Wait, I can't move. No. This guy, man, can you stop getting caught in stupid situations? What the? Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Oh, it's this guy. We had to drag you out of wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You found me then. Da, we found you. And now you pay. Criminal. Herlock Sholmes is a real character in an Arsene Lupin book. The author changed the name to avoid copyright claims. That's awesome. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No. I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that? It's Susato. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato! Wait, what did you just say? Take his life?
Let's go.
Where is he? Where's Kazuma? No! There's no way. If he's dead, I'm gonna shit myself. Ubio, thank you for the 5 months. Or, sorry, 5 months. I love Ace Attorney. No, but for real, would not be the person I am today if I didn't get into Ace Attorney when I was younger. It's so good. I swear to God. No, he got me a fade, man. Ha! You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's belt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Oh, this sucks ass, bro. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you are doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No! Every Mia Faye. Kazuma. It was just short 2 weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. A little racist, a little stereotyped. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. I think sailors in general just don't like stowaways. Yeah, just really. He smuggled his boyfriend out of the boat. They could have a gay boat vacation. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what. Why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. No. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. This sucks so much ass.
We'll leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Do not make more trouble for yourself. Murderer.
No! I'm not a murderer!
Da, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes.
No! That's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but... murdering my best friend?
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's about ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Okay. Oh. Investigation time, baby. Let's go. No time to be sad. We gotta figure this out. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs. They think I did it. They think I'm Kazuma's killer. When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from the outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or, to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died. The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at the next port of call. So presumably, that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. Alright, about the incident. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably, that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. Clearly, Ouchie did it true. Can we get a painting? I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at this cabin door? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open. When he managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-san, collapsed on the floor. Fuck. I hate it here. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too. Trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, all right. Ugh, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan. And I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-san's cabin for so long without him noticing? No. That would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. He's gay. You want me to say it? He's gay. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Your ass is huge. Why to go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? Your ass. Ass. Just straight fucking. It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Cool, man. He was killed because of homophobia. This is a hate crime. True! Actually freaking true. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing, that he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you? Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san, I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Yes. Yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Yes. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do. But it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? This guy says all the time. Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why did this have to happen? I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No! I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how, and why they did it. So I'm sorry. You're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Huh! What the? That was a Susato takedown. The takedown. We've been owned. A Susato, what? What martial form is that? I love that she's upside down. I'm gonna need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Get rotated. This is what I do to chatters who are annoying. Your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Badge.
Yes!
Alright then, how about this? You can't trick me with something irrelevant like that. Oh. I think perhaps I didn't throw you hard enough. No, 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 no! Let me show you something else.
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, problem solved. Did I not change it to Great Ace Attorney? Who changed? I thought I could have swore I did. Oh, I just didn't click done. Oop. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Maya moment. Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What the fuck does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. All right, let's get to work. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence. Sure. All right. Let's get started. Kazuma, I will avenge you. Get out of my way. Okay. Got all the conversing done. Let's get to investigating, baby! Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner. I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? Then what language is it? It pains me to admit, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean? Can anyone here read Russian? Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? Use the left and right buttons to look around. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you.
Let's go.
Fluffle fan, thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate you. I've investigated thoroughly, but nothing there. Okay. This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean contraption? I've read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? It sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interests of cultural research, obviously. She just wants to do it. She's so disappointed. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. Whoa. Okay. I don't think that's true. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone's busy. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here. No, sadly not. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means what? He's in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hiya! Wah! Get rotated. That's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if something's important? Something relevant to the case? All right. I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's matters either, but in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? That's a very large traveling case. Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah, yes, it seems this way up in Japanese. Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and I was tossed on the floor here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. Let's look at the... I looked at that. I can't look at the spill. The books have fallen over the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea. Oop. They've all toppled the same way, but well, the statue comes with, although he's fallen over as well. Okay. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training. I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case? Yeah, let's get a little closer look. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Okay. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. It's essentially a list of requests. From the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabin. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? Neither! I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Pet. Broke 2 rules already. What else we got up here? Ooh. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear too. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. Oh. When did he get here? My eyes literally did not even adjust to see this freaking guy. Huh? As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... Hold on, I'm gonna add a good one. Hold on. 1 sec. There we go. Looking. You've noticed the man too, have you? Yeah, 3 head looking. I have no idea who he is or how he got here, but he looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. That's something very usual about him. And is he investigating Kazuha's desk, or is he just playing on it? Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case. If you press the space button, you can converse with people. Thanks. Oh, please do. Hi. Excuse me. Pardon? Excuse me. Do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Huh! British jump scare. Ah! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? No. Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh, this theme is so good. Oh, yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What is my blood waffling about? What? True. And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh. Well, that's true, at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madame. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. Huh? You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the bare-boned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. He's so stupid. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Oh, bare ribboned. Got it. What the scallop? You're talking to me, aren't you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits that bill. It's about to be bareback. Can you stop it? Stop. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen, there's no way. Hiya! Oh! Rotated. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. That's for you. What kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see. What do you make of that? Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more like plain observation. Moving the goalposts. Indeed. And observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. You see, I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduced yourself. Sick of this dude. Boom. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. Is your Shalom slipping in Australian? No, a little bit. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men, women, the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes. It's not? Okay, good. I didn't think so. So it's really you. I've got a couple Australians in chat to check me. So it's really you, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. I would know. You got to double check me. I got it. The very same. The inimitable, actual Sherlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san? Oh, do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on, then? We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? I love this freaking guy. This music's so good. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I'm none other than the one and only Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German. Herlock, was it? No, I have no air. I mean, hair. I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rand's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I'd never miss an issue. I've sent it from England especially. Ah yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously. The answer is no. Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logically reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in the subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Why everyone pose weirdly in this game? Welcome to Phoenix Wright. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Can we get a pain T? Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? Literally. So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Sholmes. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? I've managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Herlock Sholmes, is on board. And the handcuffs seem to be excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Is he gonna hold her hand after he finishes accusing us of murder? Hopefully not. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, 2 facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? 2 facts, you say? What were those 2 facts? Oh, Jesus Christ. Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us. What 2 facts were apparent to you when you came to this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let me be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I get it, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-sama would have left a dying message in Russian? No. No way this guy's named Sholmes. It's so awesome, Mambo. In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian. Was he? Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong to not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? Garderobe? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? No! And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message. That I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Is he like really bad Gumshoe or something? Like really stupid Gumshoe? Like he's making Gumshoe look incredibly smart. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Let cook. Yes, Kazuma's already been taken away when I woke up. It's the first time I've actually seen him like this. No, he's Emma. Yeah, he does kind of feel like... Emma is Gumshoe, though. She becomes Gumshoe. So, the answer is still yes. Bring it a very pog. He's a cutie. Getting beaten by a 2D drawing. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, thank you. But he's hot. Yeah, that's true. He's not dumb, he's just British. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well. You know when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary freeing from Russia? Ah, yes. The train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Okay. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, man. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Say it? I don't know what it is. I can't speak it. The now famously accurate troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details I was more helping to discuss. You know, the merciless revolution, assassin 16. Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... Oh. Revolutionary violent Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma Russian? Bolshevik. It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you. Violin Bolshevik. No. How could it be me? I don't look anything like him. Look at his face. He doesn't see race. How progressive. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Ugh, please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. Unrelated. Well, what about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination blowing up the Crystal Tower? Ah, yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he's plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also, quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it, anyway? This Afghanistan place. You don't want to know, bro. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its page, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. Thanks for the article. He's just like me. Alright, we do have the ad break. If you don't want to see the ad, you can subscribe. You can use the Amazon Prime. You can look into the sub. Here's the ad break now. Ads, just a 3-minute ad break, least amount of ads I can do, so that we do not have pre-rolls. Thank you, peons. Can you ads in chat? And you may find the article on the back of the page of interest as well. On the back. Cast your eye over sometime and the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret it. It's all written in Russian. Couldn't hope to read it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Alright, let's take a look. That's what he looks like. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of the newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. Plus, fan, thank you for the gifted sub to Marissa Stan. It reads, Revolutionary, violent, Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yes, you told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale. Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, you need only to shave it off. Thoughtful fan, thank you for the gifty again. Appreciate you. 2 gifties. There we go. I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. Let's take a look at the back. Whoa. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no. I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Gah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops out of everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novavik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. So the suns are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novavich Ballet, but seems the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. This company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. All right, the ballerina has been updated. Nice. All right. I think that's it, really. Yeah. Oh, we get both sides of it. It's literally new evidence. Before we start talking, you were what? We've been talking so much. You were examining Kazuma's desk before, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe, for a moment, the desktop of the victim. Bum, 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 bum. We see the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. People around me. Someone who could rotate you. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It's my business to know whether other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I have a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato-san? Aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? You bitch! Life is so unfair. This sucks. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. Yeah, isn't he speaking Japanese right now? It would appear the final scene is incomplete, as if the author was cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. Yeah, okay, they're discussing it right now. A smattering, dear boy, smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. With his diary is littered with complicated-looking characters of which I can precisely none. He's like... So what was all that showing off about before then? True. If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged. My dear madame. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Got the diary. Usually the characters are speaking English unless it's Susato and Ryunosuke talking to each other, which is usually denoted by the sun. Oh, wow. I did not know that. Thanks, Luna. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, right. After all, you're the prime suspect in the matter. No? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking! You just said it! Like a second ago! What the... Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say it too. Are you quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal. No, you know, not really. So what were you looking at my knees before? Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being rude. I'm gonna rotate this guy in my head. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Hmm? We must go investigate the cabin door next well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? Hiya! Well, I've been rotated 9 times. After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up. You're just going to roll over and accept your fate. See if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I just have to have this loaded. I think we should still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Put it on the stream deck. I'm too lazy. I should. Add this to your stream deck. Guys, I have a full-time job. What do you want me to do? I work until 6. I should just... I'll do it eventually. Good idea. What is this? Situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice. Rotation. If I could set it up for you, I would. I know. It doesn't take too long. I just actually have to commit frickin' time to it. It's really easy. Sort of easy. Still haven't examined everything here. What do you think this is? Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in 2. The glass is such a beautiful color. Looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trick like this around with him, would he? Is he secretly gay? And the mark beside it, what is it, I wonder? It has some sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It's the color of a brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything in the same color elsewhere in this cabin. Okay. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this ship. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. What is this, dog? That's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate it at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So you didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no! Does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on Earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Ugh, now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Blah, blah, blah. Seiki, the Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy was always a reflection of his heart. And yet you... Can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship... Ugh. Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. There's the lock. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt, not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. Still, the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel all tense. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and a thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. What the? Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. Looking. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Whoop! People... The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? I just love... That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again, but I suppose I could try. God damn. No wonder this game is so freaking long. There's so much to do. So much to investigate. Is that? No! It's no way! There is no way! Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Ain't no fucking way. Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir? Yes. What can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. It's him! Oh, I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Master of disguise. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. Perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. What are your special orders? So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. No, we failed our mission. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? I'm not sure. But those are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not. We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. You moved to even touch the handle of the cabin door. That stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap our neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how... There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you had already had in your possession. Evidence. It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply present the button and choose some evidence that they could use. Evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin. Alright, yes, I think I might know. Really? Okay. Let's take a lookie. The paper seal, the crime scene wardrobe, the revolutionary, the ballerina, and Kazuma's diary. Let's take a look at this. I can hear a faint sound whistling. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. I think this is the best one, right? We have people too. So we have Susato, Asagi, Herlock Sholmes, and Hosonaga. How do I do this? Nope. Let's also save real quick. Back out here. There we go. Percent. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-san wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill." A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what that speckled band is. Or was. All right, then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. But I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see? I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select the move button. Select the move button if you want to move. Alright. Passageway. Whew! Finally out. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it'd be. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-san was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really? Must be awful. Uh-oh. Look over there. It's another crewman keeping watch, and he looks enormous, even if he's sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose, like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please, don't give me that pitying look. Oh, quiet in here. Let's take a look at this mousetrap. Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that it's called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese. I wonder what that tastes like. Wow, they don't know what cheese is. That's crazy. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. That trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But... Nah, I suppose you're right. Bro's never had cheese! It's the olden days. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Oh, nice. Why is it there? Guess we'll look at the door. First class cabin number 1. That's ours. Not our. It's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, huh? These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin is steerage number 539. 500 and... How many cabins are there? This looks important. What do you think this is? It has a very pleasing shape. That's the emergency alarm. You're probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, this I have to see. What are you doing? Don't touch it. But this is an emergency. Look at these handcuffs. She's had enough of your shit. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be even in a worse situation. The lawyer guy knows surprisingly little about things in general. Yeah, they're kind of young. Huh, I wish everything would just stop. This ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Okay, very funny. Can we get in here? This is it. The cabin next to ours. The ventilator next door. Yes, the ventilator which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Go! Hi. Excuse me? We, need to get inside here. Well, this sailor's eyes speak volumes. They clearly saying, keep out. That's what I wrote on the sign we put over the wardrobe doors, although this man's version is definitely more effective. It doesn't look like he's going to let us pass. That's a problem. Alright, well. Well, let's call it quits then. Yeah, literally donk walk. Excuse me, but could I ask you something?
You little stowaway murderer. Zangief does not like murderers.
That wasn't a good start. Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you?
You little third-class lady's maid.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, we seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day.
I'm not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am Senior Crewman, Biff Stroganoff.
Let's go.
Waffle fan, thanks for the gifty. Biff Stroganoff. That's me. Boys don't know this. Damn, his mom is very funny. She's stroking my beef till I'm off. Let's just avoid eye contact. Mr. Stroganoff, about this, first class area.
Here we are in finest part of Buria steamship.
for very important persons.
What sort of very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens, traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal.
Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied?
Da!
Susato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes, or no. Genius.
It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing.
Woo!
Alright, I'm gonna save here before we continue our investigating. We did get out of the first room, fully investigated. Gotta call it quits here. I have to call it quits here. It is officially time for me to call it quits. Thank you all for sticking around. I really do appreciate you all. I hope you enjoyed the investigation portion of